To make money in the markets, you're going to have to understand how to forecast. You have to have some sense which direction the market's going to go. Even those guys who do delta neutral strategies, they have to have some sense of whether to favor the long or the short position. The forecasting is the basis for doing that, and when you do understand how to forecast, you feel like you're on another level. It's just like you're lifted above the fray, as it were, and you really feel confident that you can make money easily, okay? Now, I'm bringing this up because we're going to be giving a forecasting masterclass starting this weekend, and I wanted to put out the word because the last couple times we've done it, the results were excellent. People are really, really impressed. They recognize this is kind of like on a quantum level above what's generally available. And I want to share some profound knowledge which took me 30 years to really master. You can master it quickly because we put it together in a package that's very, very easy to digest and very simple, okay? The reality of it is history does repeat. If you know where in history the market is repeating, you have the ability to create a map forward as to what's likely to go on in the future. There's so much uncertainty in the markets now. There's so much doubt about what's going to happen. There are so many questions about the governmental influences, about inflation, about interest rates, that this is one of the most uncertain periods in history. The forecasting can really cut through the uncertainty as if you have, a sword in the middle of a jungle. And it's a gratifying experience to do that. Also, it definitely takes a lot of the pain out of what otherwise is a really, really painful experience of losing money, because you're not going to have the situation occur over and over again where you don't know what's going on. Even if you lose, you at least know what's going to happen. You could get stopped out once or twice on the way, in a winning situation. And eventually you do catch the move. In 1987, Paul Tudor Jones was renowned for catching the stock market crash and became made famous before that and after that. And of course, he has gotten a name in the business forever. And he deserves it. But what people don't know is he tried a whole lot of times before that, earlier, maybe August, September of 1987, before he was able to catch that move. So taking small losses is not a big deal if you have a very good handle on what's probably going to happen, and you're right most of the time. And then you don't have to worry about having huge drawdown, because you're not going to have huge drawdown if you don't let the market take your money away from you in any sizable way, And that's easy to do if you have a pretty good idea what the forecasting is indicating. So if you think gold is going to go down, all right, you may be off by a day or two, doesn't matter. You're going to eventually catch it. And you're going to have the guts and the confidence to stay with it because you have a pretty good idea what's going to happen. And most of the time, your forecasts are going to be right. Okay? So it takes the thing to another completely unimaginably easy level that wasn't available to you before. And knowledge is the basis of everything, They say knowledge is the greatest purifier. And knowledge is the most power. And if you gain real knowledge, you're going to have real ability. That's all. You don't have to be a genius. You just have to know certain things very, very well. And this forecasting is one of the things, if you're going to trade the markets, it's one of the things you really want to have your hands on, okay? We have a very good handle on the stock market. We have a very good handle on the gold market. We're really not surprised very often by anything, because the forecasting methodology is ancient. It's been taught probably at least for 100 years in the market universe, and it's been known before that. There were famous technicians and astrologers who were talking about forecasting using planets and such. What we do is not based on astrology, although astrology does overlap the knowledge. And what we do is simple. And what we do doesn't require a lot of mathematical background or education. It does require the ability to count. It does require the ability to use a calculator. It does require the ability to actually sit down and do a little bit of work. So some commitment is necessary, if you want to learn this stuff and master it. But it's a very gratifying thing, you know? It's like the more you learn, the more success you have. How many things can you say that about? Anyway, this class starts this weekend. If you're interested, click the link below and do it soon, because I'm not going to take too many students. I want to make it very personal, and I want it to be something that you really walk away learning something. And the question and answer sessions are often very profound, and they go on. It's a 3-month program, 4 weeks of classwork, 2 hours per week for the actual lessons. And then there are 9 weeks of 1-hour sessions, also on the weekends, where we review and integrate and have question and answer, and we call them clinics. Alrighty? That's the structure of the class. And in order to sign up, you need to fill out a form, and you need to have a phone call with me, because I'm going to accept people who I feel comfortable with. Alrighty? All right, thanks a lot.